Nico Williams, Luis Diaz, Marcus Rashford. Barcelona is betting on stars, but things aren't going according to plan. A collapsed deal that was nearly done. Secret agent demands, hidden negotiations, and ultimatums from Manchester. You're about to learn what really happened behind the scenes. In this video, you'll get everything. Real news, big rumors, insider info from Romano, Moretto, and Plettenberg, plus some scandalous gossip from Catalonia itself. Don't go anywhere, it's going to be hot. The transfer of Nico Williams to Barcelona, which just a week ago seemed almost completed, has suddenly turned into one of the biggest transfer scandals of the summer. Athletic Club not only managed to keep their key player, but also signed him to a long-term deal until 2035. And Barcelona, according to trusted insider Fabrizio Romano, will never return to the negotiation table for this transfer. That chapter is closed. So what went wrong? According to Catalonia, everything broke down at the very last moment. Despite an offer from Barca being on the table and a prior agreement in principle between all parties, the issue wasn't the fee. The Catalan club was ready to activate the release clause. The problem was in the terms. Nico's agent demanded a clause guaranteeing contract termination if the player wasn't registered in the squad, similar to what happened last year with Dani Olmo. Barcelona refused. The club's management stated that their financial situation is indeed close to meeting the 1-1 salary rule, but they would not provide such guarantees. The club's position was clear. If you trust the project, you join. If you start with exit conditions, that means there's no trust. This stance triggered a strong reaction on Cadena Ser. The host of the El Larguero show called Barcelona's behavior absurd, and one of the analysts compared it to Real Madrid signing Mastantuono from River Plate without knowing if they could register him. The situation remained tense until the last moment. Nico was given time to decide until July 9th, the date of his return to Athletic. But instead of waiting for the deadline, the player made his decision early. A new contract until 2035, a release clause raised to $90 million, and his statement that the most important thing is the heart were a clear message not only to Barca, but to every other club. He's staying. Following this decision, Barcelona officially closed the case. Fabrizio Romano confirmed that negotiations will not resume. The club believes that their interest in the player was used as a tool for leverage, and that caused frustration. Meanwhile, media outlets report that the Catalans have already begun working on alternatives, including Luis Diaz and Marcus Rashford. In the end, Nico Williams becomes the symbol of Athletic's new project, with a long contract, a strong club position, and a growing market reputation. And Barcelona once again runs into the painful reality of its financial restrictions, where even a thoroughly planned transfer can fall apart at the very last moment. Barcelona's next logical move was to shift their focus to Luis Diaz, Liverpool's winger and the club's main target after the collapse of the Nico Williams deal. According to multiple sources, including Bavarian Football Works, The Hard Tackle, and Cadena Ser, the Catalans have already initiated a new round of negotiations for the Colombian international. According to the latest reports from Fabrizio Romano, Sky Germany, and Liverpool Offside, Barca is ready to offer around $60 million plus bonuses. Meanwhile, Diaz himself, according to Bild and Sport Witness, is not only open to the move but has been in contact with Barcelona's representatives through his agent for several weeks. That same agent, the Hard Tackle reports, is actively lobbying for the deal, pushing both sides to speed up the process. At the same time, Liverpool has taken a firm stance. The English club's management, according to insiders from Rousing the Cop and Football Espana, has already rejected offers from both Barcelona and Bayern, stating that the fair value for Diaz is in the 80-85 million range. Moreover, a recent tragedy involving Diogo Jota has forced Liverpool to reassess their plans regarding possible sales, as squad depth and wing stability are now top priorities ahead of the new season. Nevertheless, Barcelona is serious. According to Barca Blaugranes, a new round of talks is scheduled in the coming days, and the club believes a compromise can be reached, especially if they manage to free up space on the wage bill by offloading a current player. In such a scenario, not only the size of the offer, but also Barca's flexibility could be decisive. Meanwhile, the media is also discussing the emotional background of the deal. It's noted that after the failed Williams transfer, Barca is in need of a positive signal, not just in sporting terms, but for its image as well. And the signing of Luis Diaz, with his dynamic style and Latin American flair, could strengthen the club both on and off the pitch. Considering that Xabi Alonso has already arrived and is building a project based on fast, vertical football, Diaz may fit perfectly into the new game model. As of now, the deal is far from complete. But this is the most active direction in Barcelona's transfer strategy. The agent is pushing, the club is mobilized, and the player is ready. If the financial terms are balanced, Luis Diaz could very well become the next big signing for the Blaugrana. Another key direction Barcelona is actively exploring after the failed move for Nico Williams and the difficult talks over Luis Diaz is Marcus Rashford. The Manchester United forward has become one of the club's priority targets, and it's no longer just a rumor. According to The Times, TalkSport, and The Sun, the player has been told he can skip pre-season training to focus on finding a new club. Moreover, United has already taken the number 10 shirt away from him, a move British analysts interpret as a clear sign the club is seriously considering parting ways. Financially, Manchester United values the player at £40 million. However, the most realistic scenario currently being discussed is a loan with a future option or obligation to buy, a structure that Barcelona is actively negotiating. This would allow the Catalan club to spread out payments and fit the deal into their tight budget, while immediately adding a player who can contribute. According to Sky Sports, Rashford's chances of joining Barca have increased significantly after the club failed to reach a deal for Williams, and with Liverpool refusing to sell Diaz. Hansi Flick sees the Englishman as a versatile attacker who can play both on the wing and centrally. The main obstacle remains his high salary, around £325,000 per week. But even that has shifted. According to Reddit and Team Talk, the player has already informed Barcelona of his willingness to take a pay cut in order to complete the move. Agent activity also points to serious intent. As reported by Yahoo Sports, Rashford's brother, who acts as his representative, held talks with Deco, Barcelona's sporting director. This happened back in June, when the structure of a loan with a $40 million obligation to buy was discussed. Moreover, in a recent interview quoted by The Guardian, Rashford said he'd love to play alongside Lamine Yamal, emphasizing, "Everyone wants to play with the best." However, the deal still requires fine-tuning. La Liga is closely monitoring compliance with the 1-1 salary rule, and as the Williams situation showed, even a modest contract can become an insurmountable obstacle. In this context, a loan with partial salary coverage appears to be the most logical and realistic solution. United, for its part, is open to such a deal. The club would prefer a permanent transfer, but a loan would reduce their wage bill and leave the door open for a future sale. Overall, Rashford's potential move to Barcelona could be a smart compromise. The English forward would get a chance to reboot his career in a new league. Barca would strengthen their attack without immediate financial strain, and United could begin a rebuild without major losses. The collapse of the Nico deal, the drawn-out Diaz negotiations, the Rashford uncertainty. Barcelona is walking a fine line between success and another summer of disappointment. Will the Blaugrana manage to pull off at least one major deal? Tell us in the comments which star you'd like to see at Camp Nou. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe. Even more exclusive news, rumors, and hidden transfer stories are on the way.